Hello, and thank you for joining us today. My name's Rebecca. I'm the coach mentor for the St. Catharines location for the Oyana program. To start off with today, we'll discuss who you'll run into that works for the Oyana program in various cohorts, as well as the Oyana mission. We'll also talk about the different benefits that you'll gain from working with us, as well as why we partner with non-Indigenous youth as well. We'll also talk about the requirements, as well as the workshops and cultural teachings that you'll be participating in, as well as the volunteer and community service project. Lastly, we'll discuss the incentives that we have for the program as well. I ask that you keep all questions until the end or direct them to the chat box, or you can email any of the program coordinators or coach mentors. So to start off with, in St. Catharines, your program coordinator is Solomon and your coach mentor is myself. In Brantford, you have Kim as your program coordinator and Sherry as your coach mentor. And then in Hamilton, you have Michelle as your coordinator and Stephanie as your coach mentor. You guys will be working mostly with your coach mentors, that being myself, Sherry, or Stephanie, depending on your location. The Oyana mission is recognizing the unique experiences, diverse cultural identities, and gifts of urban Indigenous youth. The Oyana program strengthens self-confidence through skills building, links to community resources, and assisting youth to identify and take action steps towards sustainable employment through holistic and culturally grounded programming. It's also to change the country by changing the relationship between Indigenous and non-Indigenous youth. So why we partner with non-Indigenous youth is mainly to focus on Canada's Truth and Reconciliation Commission and the 94 calls to action, specifically number 66, which is calling upon the federal government to establish multi-year funding for community-based youth organizations to deliver programs on reconciliation and establish a national network to share information and best practices. It's also to strengthen the relationships among Indigenous people and other Canadians, inspire emotional reciprocity in the relationships between Indigenous youth and the youth of contemporary Canadian culture, and the community service project that is provided to give an experience that will be impactful for both the individuals and the surrounding community. So working with non-Indigenous youth, we also follow the 4 R's, so respect, reciprocity, reconciliation, and relevance. Through strength in our identity and unity in our diversity, together we can recreate a country where Indigenous and non-Indigenous youth can all live, thrive, and celebrate. Using a face-to-face dialogue and learning strategies for reconciliation to build those relationships for both current and future generations. So the benefits that you'll gain for partnering with the Oyana program are you'll be able to build your resume and collaborate with others, as well as give back to your community through the volunteering and community service project. You'll also gain self-empowerment, confidence, and leadership, as well as build an allyship with Indigenous youth and culture. You'll learn more about Indigenous culture and gain respect for the culture, history, and people. The requirements for our program are that you must be between 18 and 30 years old and identify as non-Indigenous. You must be able to commit and serve 120 hours, which is about 10 hours a week of volunteer service, and have reliable transportation or be on a bus route. There are numerous workshops and cultural teachings that you'll be participating in as well, including a 2-day workshop on truth and reconciliation, a leadership workshop, the Kairos blanket exercise, as well as the Woodland Cultural Center tour. You'll also be invited to participate in Warrior Weekend, which is a 3-day overnight trip where you learn more about the culture while you're actually in nature, allowing you to build that connection between Indigenous culture and the people as well as the earth. It's also connecting all 3 of the Oyana cohorts, being Brantford, Hamilton, and St. Catharines. So no matter which cohort you're a part of, you'll be invited to the Warrior Weekend. Your volunteer and community service project, as mentioned before, is 120 hours. Your volunteering will start within the second week of the program, and since the program runs from September 29th until December 11th, it'll be about the first week of October that your volunteering will start. You'll be paired with one of our Indigenous students as well, and all of your placements are organized by the coach mentor, and they'll also be keeping track of your hours. So again, for Hamilton, that will be Stephanie, Brantford, that will be Sherry, and for St. Catharines, that will be myself. So 3 months after the program finishes, you'll have that time to complete your volunteer hours and implement your community service project. So not only do you have the duration of the program, but the 3 months following as well. And all of the community service projects will focus on any social issue within your own community. So in the previous years and cohorts, they have done food drives or clothing drives. They've also done different cultural teachings such as planting, or they've also done mental health awareness videos. So why volunteer? There are numerous benefits to being a volunteer, such as networking, gaining and retaining skills. You gain work experience to build your resume. You're giving back to your community. You have the ability to explore strengths and interests and also find new strengths or interests that you may not have been aware of that you have. And you also get to develop leadership skills. Not only all of that, but you'll be improving your confidence and mental well-being, as well as building new friendships, boosting your local economy, and altogether, this creates happier communities as a whole. Incentives for our program are that all students are paid $10 an hour for volunteering as well as participating in our cultural workshops. There's a strong history of volunteering within Indigenous culture, although it's more considered as helping out, and the term volunteer does not typically exist within the Indigenous languages, and it's rather an actionable idea. So it's meant to improve the quality of life for all the individuals and others by making use of not only their time, but their personal skills. So helping out is seen as a way of life in Indigenous culture, which can often create a barrier as the connection between volunteerism and helping out is sometimes often missed, as volunteering is not promoted as much within the Indigenous culture. Thank you for your time today. You can connect with us on various social media such as Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Our links are there. You can also email any of us. Our emails are on the introduction slide based on your location. So Hamilton, Brantford, and St. Catharines. You can email us through that. Thank you.